What is up, everyone? Welcome back to 90 in Ontario, League One's weekly YouTube show where we bring you highlights of the past week's matches, preview upcoming big games, and interview players and coaches to show all the talent in our beautiful game. Week 6 saw a ton of league action and also had plenty of games from the men's second round for the League One Cup, so let's not waste any time and get into the highlights.
Debating about
Alright, as you saw, there was plenty of action with great goals, so let's dive into what took place. In men's Premier Division action, the weekend was kicked off on Friday when St. Catharines Roma played Oakville SC. Tyler Yosaka opened the scoring in the 7th minute, only for Oakville's Jared Agaming leveling the score in the 32nd. Second half was played to a stalemate, and the game finished 1-1. Saturday saw two games played where Woodbridge went on the road and picked up a massive 1-0 win over Simcoe County Rovers, where substitute Anthony Morano was brought down in the box in extra time, where he would take and convert the penalty to steal all 3 points. The following game took place at Varsity Centre, where Alliance United hosted North Toronto. The hosts stormed to a 3-0 lead by the 63rd, but North Toronto quickly turned it on, scoring twice in the next 7 minutes. However, the comeback fell short, with Alliance securing the victory with a goal in extra time to win 4-2 and also seeing them sit top of the standings at this time. The final 2 games took place on Sunday, and in the first match, Burlington defeated Sigma, fighting back from a 1-0 deficit within 20 minutes to win 3-1. Lastly, Vaughan convincingly beat Premier Division newcomers 4-0, having 4 different goal scorers. Following is the Men's Championship Division, where another 6 games were played. Whitby hosted the high-flying Sudbury Cyclones, where the visitors won 2-1 to hold top spot in the tables. The second game of Saturday saw another road win, where Waterloo comfortably beat Hamilton 4-0, seeing a brace scored by Markel Sadler. The remaining 4 matches were held on Sunday, with the first seeing a 1-1 draw between hosts Windsor City and Pickering FC. York United Academy then hosted North Mississauga Soccer Club, where the visitors won 3-1, being led by Will Holman, scoring a brace. Guelph United used their home advantage to get past Masters FA, which was their first loss of the season, and the Borough FC had a statement win, beating Unionville Milliken 5-0 despite missing a penalty in the 29th. Switching sides to the women's, in the Premier Division, Alliance United beat the reigning champions NDC 3-0, which was their first win of the season, and what a way to get it. For NDC, that was their second loss of the season, but with 4 wins, they sit third and are very well in the title race. Second place team Simcoe County Rovers tied North Toronto Nitros 1-1, and wrapping up Saturday's action saw FC London draw Waterloo United 0-0. Sunday's first match saw Guelph United beat Woodbridge Strikers 3-2. The hosts stormed to a 2-0 lead but gave up 2 extremely late goals by the end of the first half. However, in the second half, Olivia Brown scored in the 68th minute to put Guelph up by a goal, which they held and gave them the win. In the final match, Vaughan Missouri hosted North Miss, using their home advantage, winning 1-0 with the goal coming from in-form and unstoppable striker Nia Fleming-Thompson. Only 4 games took place in the Women's Championship this weekend. Tecumseh and Scrishope kicked the weekend off with a 1-1 draw where the host took the lead in the 20th minute and was thinking they took all 3 points until Karina Whirlpool snatched one back a minute before stoppage time. Whitby and Pickering played to the same draw, 1-1, wrapping up the two matches on Saturday. On Sunday, Oakville came back trailing 1-0 to win against host Burlington 2-1, and then the final match saw an 11-goal thriller between Unionville and Rush Academy. Within 9 minutes, Rush's Alyssa Stevenson scored a brace looking to put a stranglehold on the game, but Unionville answered right back, making it 2-2 by the 30th, seeing the teams going into the half all tied up. In the 55th, Unionville took the lead through Ines Delahomel's second goal, but 5 minutes later, Rush leveled once again. The 73rd saw Unionville go ahead for a second time in the half with Ines completing her hat trick, but that must have woken up Rush Academy, as they then scored 3 goals by the time the 85th minute came around, going up 6-4. However, right when Unionville kicked off, they stormed down the field and scored within the same minute, now only trailing behind 1 to set up an extremely tense final minutes, but there would be no more goals. Rush Academy comes away victorious 6-5. What an amazing match. As promised from last week, Men's League 1 Cup action has been taking place and almost wrapped up with only one game remaining after today. Whitby and Unionville was the first match from May 14th, where both battled to a 1-1 draw, and since we need a winner, we saw penalties where Unionville advances, as they scored every single penalty with Whitby only missing one. On May 20th, Burlington went up 2-0, but Pickering FC stormed back, scoring twice just before the halftime whistle. In the second half, however, Burlington scored 3 and advanced to the third round with a 5-2 win. Woodbridge Strikers hosted York United Academy the next day, where the hosts marched their way to the quarters, winning 4-1, and seeing their star player Ronaldo Marshall get another goal via a penalty. Jumping to yesterday's action, North Toronto Nitros and St. Catharines Roma battled it out to an absolutely thrilling match. Noah Pickering opened the scoring for North Toronto in the 13th minute, but his night would be short-lived. In the 25th, St. Catharines would get one, and then in the 40th, Noah would receive a red card, which would be followed by another goal for Roma in the 44th. Now, you would think this game is done and dusted, but in the second, the North Toronto Nitros would score 3 goals to win the match. Yes, you heard that right. Cyrus Rolux would be the hero, getting a hat trick while his team was short a player for 50 minutes of the match. Next up, North Miss hosted FC London with penalties following after a 0-0 draw, and it was the visitors who would score all 5 spot kicks, giving them the victory. Simcoe County showed their strength, beating New Boys Cambridge United 2-0, and the final match saw Vaughan Missouri squeak out the victory over Oakville SC 2-1. 7 teams have now punched their way to the quarters, which the final match of round 2 taking place between Scrisopie and Windsor City on June 9th. Now, before moving on to the next segment, if you are liking the video, please consider subscribing, leave a like if you love it, and turn on the bell notifications to see your favorite teams, games, and highlights. For the players and teams of the week for all of our divisions, and for all other content, follow us on Instagram at League1 Ontario and visit our website at league1ontario.com. As we continue our U20 feature Player of the Week, Alex Balta sits down with up-and-coming star Daniel Prieto of Oakville SC. Have a listen.
Welcome to this week's U20 Player feature. Today we're excited to be joined by Daniel Prieto of Oakville Soccer Club, our standout U20 Player of the Week. Daniel's already amassed almost 500 minutes in 6 games and is a key feature in Oakville's midfield. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, pleasure having you on. We're going to jump right into it. Your team is currently sitting 4th in the league. What are your personal expectations for yourself and the team this season?
Well, my expectations first and foremost is to win. Our goal is to win the league this year. We're right in the mix, so a handful of games in, 5-6 games in, and the table's already taken shape a little bit. I know it's early, but I think that we're right in the mix. As far as goals for myself, just do whatever I have to do, whatever my role is to benefit the team as much as possible. Creating goals, as many goal scoring opportunity chances for my forwards as much as I can. But really just do whatever the coaches ask me to, as well as, having last year won a couple awards, the Midfielder of the Year award in League 2, as well as the All-Star. Those awards are definitely in mind for this season as well, for the U20 award and Midfielder in League 2, in League 1, I mean. So that's definitely been on my mind, but above all, my goal is to win this year.
That's the mind of a champion, wanting the team to win first. So I like hearing that. And what teams set in your head that could stop you guys from maybe winning that trophy?
Well, I mean, the league is it's always competitive, especially this year, and there's fewer teams. So, every game is going to be super vital along the way. But the usual suspects, like Vaughn's definitely a strong one. Scrisopi obviously coming off the Canadian Championship as well. Woodbridge is looking strong as well. And even certain teams that maybe aren't at the top, like St. Catharines Roma, they gave us a pretty tough game.
You guys actually started really well in that game, and then when you went up 1-0, it seemed like
Yeah,
to change
yeah.
immediately.
No, absolutely. Even those lower teams, man, even if they don't have the best quality, the thing about them, man, is that they fight and they make it chippy and they make it ugly and they tend to have a pretty good atmosphere. So even those lower teams, it's a tough battle. So every game is going to be a tough game this season for sure.
Yeah, I just got to add in Alliance is technically at the top of the table, so let's
Oh
include
yeah,
them
yeah. I forgot
as
about them.
well.
No, Alliance is very strong this year as well. So they're definitely a team that I'm looking forward to playing against.
Okay, good. Next, how do you find being the youngest player in the midfield? Have you encountered any challenges at the L1 Premier level that you didn't expect? I know you played it, the level last year, but now you're, fully integrated. So how's that experience been?
Good. So yeah, like you mentioned, I got involved a little bit last season. I played about half the League 1 season with the first team when we were back with the Blue Devils. So I was very fortunate to get kind of a glimpse of what the level was like. Now being fully integrated with it, there's not as much surprise. I knew last season going into it when I started out with the first team that, it was gonna be the speed of play was gonna be a lot quicker. I was gonna have less time on the ball. It was gonna be a lot more physical, a lot more, hard challenges going in. There's only so much you can do as far as training is concerned. The best way to get used to the level is just to play the games and get involved and be in the thick of it, really. So I kind of passed that point. So now it's just about maintaining my level and trying to be as consistent as I can.
Okay, so just to build off that, we talk about your play. You often find yourself making runs down the line when in the final third. Is this a tactic you do on your own initiative, or is this something the coach has asked you to do?
So I'd say it's a mix of both. So I have a lot of experience playing down the wing and getting into those wide areas down the line a lot. And last season when I broke into the first team, I was playing most of my games that I was starting. I was starting out on the wing, either on the left or the right. So Billy and Duncan are familiar with that aspect of my game. And now this season I found myself back in the middle, and they definitely encouraged me to get forward by whichever means necessary. One thing about their coaching style is that they allow for a lot of flexibility and freedom. And for a player like myself, a very attack-minded player, I enjoy that style of play a lot. So you'll often find me, exchanging positions with the wingers for a moment or two and just getting forward wherever the space is. If it's through the middle or out wide, that's usually where I try to go as much as I can.
So basically, take what the opponent gives you, and if that space is out wide, that's where you're going.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And I also enjoy, lining up a defender 1v1 on the flank from time to time as
Yeah,
well.
I noticed you had some good 1v1 moments, and typically even close down, you're able to put in a good delivery to create space. So, which kind of builds into our next question. So, one of your standout strengths is delivering well-weighted final balls or crosses, even, and set piece deliveries. Corner kicks, for example. Are there other aspects of your game that you're particularly proud of, and are there any parts of your game you'd like to see improve?
Yeah, so as far as other aspects of my game that I'm proud of, off the ball, like work ethic is something that I've always try to have a high level for myself. So on the ball, yeah, I try to be, technical and as creative as possible. But something that I pride myself on is my work ethic when I'm not on the ball, because sometimes there's a game where I might not get on the ball as much, but is that gonna take me out of the game completely? Obviously, I'd prefer not to. So to avoid that, I try to keep a high work ethic as much as possible, and that often leads to um, a lot of defensive work. So a lot of tracking back, even going forward, pressing the opponent as much as I can and try to put them under pressure. So that's something that I've been working on for several years, and I'm quite proud of that aspect of my game, and I try to showcase it as much as possible. And something that I'd want to improve. I know it's early, we're only about 4 or 5 games into the season, but getting a couple more assists, a couple more goals. Last season in League 2, I had a pretty good goal scoring record. I had about 7 goals in 13 games, a handful of assists. So far, I've got a goal and about 3 assists.
Yeah, you got
So I
that
just
goal in the cup game, right?
in the cup game, yeah, exactly. So, obviously I want to build on that and improve my numbers and put up good numbers because, at the end of the day, goals is what wins you matches. And I just want to try to contribute as much as I can.
Great answer. But what I will say, I have also noticed that you make good runs forward into the box, even though it hasn't yielded any, goals for yourself, like tap ins and so forth. But I've
Yeah.
seen you make, deep runs, from 20 yards out. You see a ball about to be delivered, you'll put in the work and get in. So I'm sure you keep doing that, the ball will find you eventually. The soccer
Yeah,
gods will reward you.
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, finally, how do you prepare mentally and physically for matches, and has your approach evolved since stepping up fully to the L1 Premier level?
Yeah. So my approach to games has changed a little bit. Last year when I broke into the first team, obviously being one of the younger guys coming up, my main it wasn't even like a focus. It was more of like a worry a little bit, was just trying to prove myself that I can play at this level. So I wasn't necessarily too focused on trying to dominate the game as I was when I was with the second team, but just try to show that I can hold my own at this level. I can compete, I can handle it. I've proved that. I'm not trying to prove myself like that anymore. I know I'm at the level. I know I can compete. Now my focus is a lot more results based. Every game there's 3 points on the line, and that's the only thing that really matters to me. So I don't feel the need to do a fancy trick or to score a nice goal to show people that, oh, I can play, I can compete at this level. If I have to if I have to just sit in the middle and dog it out and just battle and fight for 90 minutes and not do anything fancy, and if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. So my focus now is just getting the result by whatever means necessary. So I'd say that's how my mentality, my approach has changed now.
Daniel, what we can say is, hey, you're a pivotal role in that midfield, and we're looking forward to see how you do and the team does for the rest of the season. So thanks for coming on, and yeah, we're pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure as well.
Finally, looking forward to the upcoming weekend. The women's match of the week sees Simcoe County Rovers host Alliance United this Sunday, June 1st at 6 p.m., and it is gearing up to be a great match. Diving a little bit into Simcoe, they are flying strong as expected with 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw through 6 matches, seeing them sit second with 13 points. They have also advanced to the quarterfinals of the Women's League 1 Cup, so at this stage, the dream of a league double is fully on the cards. With this strong start, head coach Zach Wilson will be relying on star player Ali Rowe to keep leading the front lines as she sits joint top of the league for most goals with 6. But in their way this weekend will be an Alliance United team who will be coming off a team high as they didn't just win but convincingly beat the reigning champs NDC 3-0. If they were to now get past Simcoe, they might start developing a reputation as Goliath Slayers. As I mentioned earlier, Alliance was sitting second last with little expectations to get a result against NDC, but with just out of the relegation zones, will be oozing with confidence, having the belief they can beat anyone in the league. One of the key players will be Ava Beckett, who has just played her first game of the season, scoring a crucial opening goal in the last game, and head coach Angelo Cavaluto will be hoping her hot start continues. Our second match of the week brings us to the Men's League 2 division, where 2 new faces in Railway City and Cambridge United go head-to-head on June 1st. To preview the match, our very own Carlisle Fazette interviews both head coaches John Morgan of Cambridge and Railway City's Rob Herrera. Enjoy the interview.
John, thanks for making time chatting with us today to talk about the season so far. I know in League 2 for Cambridge United, this is basically a new start really for a club, it sounds like. And I have to imagine, looking at the table and the results, it has to have gone about as well as you could have hoped at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, stepping into the league as a full license holder, having been a guest club for the last 3 seasons, we kind of knew what we were getting into. There's always that air of trepidation, obviously, with something new. So yeah, we couldn't be more pleased with the way the season has started right now. We believed that we had a good group of players together and coaching staff and support staff behind the scenes, creating the environment for us. But the proof is always in the execution. And right now, yes, we're very happy.
Can we talk then a bit more about maybe expectations coming in, exceeding them, players maybe who have stepped up and taken things to a level maybe you weren't even expecting?
We set our expectations high. coming into the league at the L2 with the new promotion relegation, I think is exciting, and it gives us something to strive for. So our 5-year strategic plan ambition is to be in the Premiership within that period of time, and then obviously the step up from League 2 to Championship as soon as possible. Really, if that's this season, that's fantastic. If we have to wait until next season, then okay, so be it. But we built the squad around that expectation, understanding that we need everything, injuries, etc., everything to go our way to step up. But right now we believe we have a squad that's capable of competing at the higher levels. So we're really pleased where we're at. We're keeping grounded right now. And obviously with Railway that we do play this weekend, they're in the same type of situation as us. I know Coach Rob there very well. And we have some great chats around the game and organisation, and really they're in the same position, and I can see they're building the same. So it's really exciting. Looking forward to what this weekend's matchup brings.
Rob, thanks for making time today. Thanks for chatting again, actually, because we chatted before the season had started, and I know back then you were looking ahead to, which was an admittedly a tough opening match in the Cup, but since then the results have been pretty good for you.
Yeah, we got off to a good start in the season. We had a tough game away at Hamilton, found a way to get the 3 points there late, and then came home, had a really great home opener against Windsor. We stumbled a bit against St. Catharines a couple weeks ago, and then last week we had a good performance again against Waterloo. So yeah, excited about this upcoming weekend.
I've spoken with John already from the other side at Cambridge. He mentioned that you and him know each other a bit off the pitch, and he kind of likened your situation at Railway City to theirs as well, as in sort of development and building a program, and then also getting results so far this year.
Yeah, I know John well, and great coach, and I'm sure he's got his team prepared, and they've got off to a fantastic start. For us, yeah, similar scenario in the sense that we're a new club. We're trying to build something here, not only for this season, but also something that's sustainable over multiple seasons. So we feel like we've got off to a good start in the sense of building a player pool that we feel can grow with the club, and so yeah, we're excited about that and the opportunities that are ahead.
When we last spoke, I know we talked a bit about expectations, and obviously back then it was early days, but have you, I guess, gotten a sense of, were your expectations realistic, and how are you, I guess, moving toward figuring out where you're going to land now as we get into a table that's starting to maybe shape up with the way the season is going to play out?
Yeah, it's starting to take shape, and you're starting to see some separation there, and like Cambridge is off to a perfect start, so they're at 15 points after 5 games, which is definitely setting the bar very high. Obviously this weekend's a big match, as well as maintaining consistency over the remainder of the schedule. All the teams are difficult in their own way, and I found the level of coaching very good in the league, and so you always have to be prepared and make sure your teams are ready to go.
All right, Rob, thanks very much for this, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you.
All right, thank you very much to Carlisle and to both coaches and giving their time and talking how it's been like navigating their new teams in League One and their aspirations to move forward and climb the divisions. But with that being said, that is all we have for this week. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like the video. Feel free to leave a comment with any ideas of what you'd like to hear us talk about, and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our videos. We'll see everyone pitch side.